coming soon. What is up, guys? In today's video, we're gonna see if we can make our TTR 110 pitter a little bit more power with this $20 exhaust tip. So, as you know, guys, we bought a TTR 110. My son's been playing around, been driving the snot out of this thing. It came with no tip on it, and I kind of retrofitted a tip on the bike just to make it quieter. Without the tip or baffle plate in the actual exhaust, it one, looked like hell, and two, kind of sounded like crap. Although we did do a little dyno testing with pulling that thing off and putting it back on, and it did make more power. I have a YouTube short out there with a little bit of footage of us playing around with that. I'll put that in the comments, guys. But here it is, just a little $20 bolt-on exhaust tip. That way it won't be like some big cannon coming out the end like, I don't know. I just didn't think it was too appealing. In today's video, we're gonna bolt this bike up to the dyno. I'll do a couple power runs for you guys stock, and then we'll bolt this up here, and we're gonna see if this puppy makes more power. I will drop a link in the description for this tip, guys. If you do purchase this, it helps out the channel ever so slightly. Thank you, guys. All right, guys, gonna go in and get the pitter out, guys, and we're gonna get his KX off of here. I was fooling around the other day. We finally got to where I can take and plug a wire up to the ignition coil and get some RPM. Although it does have its quirks, it doesn't like all ignition systems, this being the one. It didn't like the KX 65. I want to try out the 85 soon and see if it likes that ignition system, but it did work good on the Yamaha, so that's cool. We can get a direct clamp and direct RPM reading for our dyno now. The hardware and software will probably be all swapped out. This is after we get to the new shop. And guys, speaking of that, there went my glasses. Daggone things don't stand a chance. But yeah, guys, so anyway, I got something very exciting to show you. So it's been a long time coming. We're gonna get out of this little tiny shop. We're gonna get into something a little bit more sufficient for us, guys. Let's go check it out. Yeah, so as you guys can tell, we got the AC running and it's really, really hot. We'll get up here, show you guys something pretty cool. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1. How about it, guys? Finally getting us a shop built. Just waiting on a door, and we're gonna be rocking and rolling in the new shop. Come on in. What do you think, guys? Got the old punching bag up. Try to keep it shaped a little bit here, guys. Do that up out of the sun. Started bringing some benching in here, guys. The plan is to maybe do a little tiny desk here and do some wraparound benching, clean over to about this pole. I'd like to keep the center of the building open, so if I do pull a vehicle in here to work on, I will have space the whole way through here as much as possible. Shelving is going to be on this side, the dyno, and we'll be working on equipment inside here, obviously, guys. But man, I am so excited. Our door is going to be here very soon, and it's going to be the transformation of the little shop to the bigger shop, guys. And I promise you there will be a bunch more content coming, guys, 100%. My little buddy and I got a ton of ideas for new content coming, some custom stuff, of course, you know, performance stuff. The chainsaw dyno is going to come back out, guys. I want to revamp that eventually, and then we also want to do some work to the motorcycle dyno we have now. Basically a dirt bike dyno in my mind. That's what it is. So what we're going to do is add just a little more inertia to that thing, and I got a plan for that, guys. So there will be some content and the new shop coming soon. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'll get you guys a look at this exhaust baffle I have rigged up. So the numbers could vary a little bit from the OEM, but I would say it would rather
be rather close anyway. This is just something I found in the scrap. I bent 2 tabs out and bolted it right up. Could have done it with the third one too. It was something quick and fast. And this pretty much will replicate the stock. We'll run a couple pulls. I think it's been a lot hotter. We were really hot for a while. It cooled off for a good bit. Almost felt like some fall-like conditions, guys. And now we're scorching hot again. And hey, I'll take it. Keep this shut. It's scorching out there. Yeah. Anybody's wondering here? Man, this thing's pretty cool little saw back here. Whether or not the customer wants to go forth with it, it's actually a family member that dropped this off. It's an old 028 AV Super. It's got some issues, man. It was either ran hot. I think it's probably got the old hardened seals in it and stuff. So this thing needs totally going over for. Still had like a 120-ish PSI on the top end. That don't always mean everything, guys. It's running like it has an air leak. So yeah, I did some carb work on it. Even tried a different carburetor just to make sure, and it still did the same symptoms. Obviously, we could do a pressure test, but sometimes I don't mind stocking carbs, and then you just do some quick tests to figure it out almost faster. Sometimes we check the exhaust system and all that looked good. But yeah, I'd like to see what it runs like. It's a little pro style saw with the removable cylinders and stuff, so I like it. It'd be cool to fix up and put it on the dyno, but I think he wants it back kind of in a hurry, and I don't know if he's willing to spend what it's going to take to bring that back to life. If I think about it, do a quick little picture of the scoring inside the exhaust chamber and stuff on this thing. He ran the filter. I'm getting off task, guys. I know some of you aren't in here for this, so fast forward just a little bit if I'm losing you guys here. But this was his air filter. It was on there. Yeah, not good. He sucked all that through the engine, and I don't know for how long, but it's pretty obvious in the video. Yeah, guys, that AC is not keeping up in here, and man, I tell you, it's a little backstory. This, even running the AC when it was hitting hot wave, it was still like, it's 89 in here now, so it would still be so hot in here, and just, I don't know, just kind of cool it down. But definitely need a bigger AC. If this is all insulated and stuff, it would work a lot better. But here's a little look of the mounting. It looks like everything's gonna mount good. It's gonna give it a little bit more sex appeal, guys. Woohoo! But like, yeah, you can see we're going from that to that. And guys, this may even be a little bit smaller diameter than the OEM one. I could tell you right now, there was a little horsepower difference from removing this alone to this big open cannon. Boom! Boom! Yeah, big open cannon there. So I would imagine this will give it a little bit better sound and not sound so obnoxious and gain a little bit of power, but who knows, I might lose power with this. Who knows, guys? If anything, it should look a little better and sound a little better, but the dyno will tell us what's going on. Hey guys, we're getting the software fired up. We got the bike mounted here to the dyno. I'm going to get everything prepped up and ready. I can't forget now that I can use a clamp now for the RPM, so we're going to get all that set up and start warming this bike and getting up to temp and get a baseline horsepower reading off this bike, guys. Alright, we're getting that tranny fluid up to temperature, guys. .2 horsepower, guys. Pull number 1 was 8.2 horsepower. second pull was 8.14 or 8.14 horsepower. So we're looking around 8.2 horsepower to real well with this thing. I'm gonna do a third and final pull with this stock setup, and then we're gonna bolt up our aftermarket tip and see how she does. Guys, I just had a China 125 pitter in here, and I think it put down 10.7 horsepower. So it gives you a reference like to your 125 Chinese pitters. So these rev better for sure, the Yamahas. I know you could probably get some ignition CDI stuff for them and probably get the RPMs up on them, but I don't know if I would do that on the Chinese engine unless you were willing to take the risk. Maybe I'll put that up on the chart before we end the video, guys. So right around 8.2 horsepower is where we're at with this thing stock, guys. So we're gonna preparate putting all the pulls up here stock, so you can get a stock platform here, guys. And let's put this baffle on here, or this aftermarket exhaust tip per se, and we'll see if we get any better performance. All right, guys, wada bing, wada boom. Here's what your stock platform looks like here. Looks like we hit around 8.2 horsepower solid on this thing, guys. We're hitting, first run, I didn't rev it out as hard. That's why it looks like this came in a little different there. These two, I did exactly the same and didn't really affect any of the power numbers. So that just shows how the slight adjustments can alter the graphing ever so slightly, but it all picked up exactly what I did, so that's a good thing. Looks like we're hitting around 9,000, guys. I have hit 10,000 RPMs on this thing a couple times, so that's pretty badass for a whole TTR 110. Let's put this tip on here, guys, and see what kind of power number she puts down. All right, here's the sound of the stock exhaust system with my makeshift baffle before we change this out. There's the exhaust tip put on there. Honestly, I don't think it looks too bad. Maybe they could have done a little taper on there or a little angle down. Still not bad. See what she sounds like, guys. Oh yeah. Did we make more power? Drop in the comments, guys. What do you think? Hey, no cheating, bro. Oh man, we blew that off. I thought, man, it smells in here. Damn exhaust extraction on the end there. Needs a little bit of help, guys. We'll get there. Things are gonna run a lot smoother in a bigger shop. All right, guys, check it out. Nothing too crazy, but an instant bump in power, guys. Now, for all of you guys that don't know, that maybe new, don't know a whole lot about performance, we instantly bumped in power. I would assume if you put a full exhaust system, you would have to probably jet this to get optimum power. If you have the stock carb and haven't played with the jetting, depending where you live. It is hot, guys. It is hot. It's 10 bitches out here right now. Yeah, so 92 degrees AC rolling. Yeah, it's hot. So I mean to rush through this video, but it's just kind of what's going on here. So we hit 8.62 horsepower, an increase from 8.2 horsepower right off the bat, guys. All right, guys, 8.7 horsepower. Just a hair bit more of a horsepower increase there, guys. Guys, this thing hits 10,000 RPMs on the rev limiter. That's pretty badass. I will say, compared to the Chinese spitter, I was very surprised how this bike revved. The Chinese spitter put down a little more power, but I really think these have more potential. All right, guys, we did our best pull there. 9.17 horsepower, guys. 10,000 RPMs. So yeah, that's awesome, guys. So yeah. So, like, every time I've had this on the dyno, which is pretty badass about the dyno, and I've mentioned this before, sorry if I keep saying it over and over again to my guys that have been following along. But anyhow, like, this bike's a little rich because we start making the same power just about over and over again, and then we start gaining power. We'll get a fraction of a horsepower or two when we really get this up to temperature. So that just shows that the air fuel mixture on this thing is definitely a little rich, and that's probably a good thing. So it's been staying that way, so I don't really think the tip did a whole lot of impact on the jetting. Obviously, guys, we bolted this thing up and we got 9.17 horsepower, which is pretty badass for just bolting it up. I'd like to do a couple more pulls just to see how long it would take getting the engine up to temp, or running the engine kind of hot and see which way the jetting goes. Anyway, yeah, so there you go, man. Bolt this tip up and you're making more power, dude. All right, guys, so here you can see in the blue was our stock bike. We were staying right around 8.2 horsepower. That's we had 8.14, I think, on the second pull there, but we were staying around, I think, first pull and third pull were both 1.2. We made max RPM at 9,000 on that one, and our 9.17 horsepower, we did hit the rev limiter a little bit there and hit 10,000 RPM, and making max power around 3,800, guys. So keep that in mind, keeping the power kind of down low. You can see it's a very broad power curve on these 4-strokes, but that's awesome, guys. Right there shows that putting this exhaust tip on here, man, a horsepower gain right there. That's worth freaking 20 bucks to me, a horsepower. Gee whiz, guys. Yeah. All right, guys, I am miserable in this freaking shop. It is 93 degrees with the AC running. It doesn't help that I'm running the exhausted traction and probably pumping it right out, and it struggles keeping up in here anyhow. But I hope you enjoyed the content, guys. I'm sorry for the shitty thrown together video. I'd like to make them at least a little better than just throwing some stuff out there. We want to get into putting a lot of performance parts on these pitters. I might get a China pitter to play around with eventually. We're going to get the 2 strokes back on here too, guys, for sure. But bear with me as we make the adjustments and the changes and the shop swap out from the little one to the bigger shop, guys. That's coming soon. And I'm going to bring you guys along for that here. Maybe do a little vlog in here or there, moving the shop and coming up with ideas. Who knows, you guys might help me out with some better ideas so I'm not doing it over again. But yeah, look at the shop transformation coming very, very soon, guys. But yeah, this tip is 100% worth the power. Let's pull the chart up right now, dude. So down here in the blue was the stock, and up here in the black was the power increase. Pretty much a horsepower gain from this exhaust tip. I think that's worth the 20 bucks to me, guys. Hey guys, thanks for following along, guys. If you're new to jumping in here, I promise you we got more cool content like this coming soon. Subscribe down below, turn on the bell notifications, comment, tell me what you would like to see, guys. Thanks for watching Digging Deep. We'll catch you next time.